syrup making, we'll start with picking the flowers. Whenever you're picking flowers from anything, even in your own garden, never pick all of them, because otherwise you won't get any seeds to set for the following year. And what we're going to do with this is we're going to make a cough syrup, and the whole process will take around about 3 weeks, but at the end of it we'll end up with a really beautiful golden brown syrup that you can store throughout the winter and use for coughs. It's very yummy. Any plants that you're picking, try and pick them high up, because you certainly don't want the dogweed in whatever you're making. Because when we take these back, we're not going to wash them at all, because we don't want water in the syrup. Obviously the plants have got natural amount of liquid in them. Always pick plants preferably mid-morning, when it's a nice sunny day. If you pick them early in the morning, there'll be a fair amount of dew on them, which will make them quite damp. So you really want the dew to have evaporated off a little bit. And you never ever pick them in the rain, obviously, because you get too much moisture in them. So I'm just spreading these flowers all over the box, and if you come in and have a look closely, you'll see that there's all little black beetles crawling out of them. And those beetles will actually fly away in a minute. They've got wings, so they fly off. As soon as you pick a plant, all the insects seem to know that that plant is going to die, and they'll just get the hell out of there. And that's the easiest way of cleaning them. But do not wash them, whatever you do, because as I said before, you're going to get it too liquidy. So that is now nice and sunny. Now going to just sit out in the sunshine for a bit, and we'll come back in about an hour to see if all the beetles have gone. We need clean and sterile jam jars. So oven on to 200, and I'm going to do 2 jam jars full, but you can only do 1 if you want. And they're washed, they're nice and clean. And what I'm going to do with them is put them upside down on the rack of the oven when I have just turned the oven on. So at the moment the oven is cold. Do the same thing with the lids, upside down in the oven, and then leave that in there. When the oven has reached temperature, so when the light goes off, or whatever system you have, everybody's got digital ovens, I know nowadays, whatever system you have on your oven, when the oven has reached temperature, just leave the jam jars in there for 1 minute, and then turn the oven off and leave them in the oven to get cold. Oven's nice and cold now, and I'm going to take out my clean jars. Actually the flowers have squashed down a little bit already, so I think I'll only get 1 jar's worth out of it. And this is the nice easy fun bit. Handful of flowers. I've left them a bit longer than an hour because I've been pushed for time today, so they're not as bulky as they were. So I'm hoping that's about 1 inch there of flowers, and then ordinary granulated sugar there, and into that you pour about an equal amount of sugar. That's going to pack down in between the flowers. Another handful of flowers. So I've got a layer of flowers, layer of sugar, layer of flowers, layer of sugar. put the lid on, which is also nice and clean, just come out the oven, clean and cold. And then you leave the whole lot in some sunshine to stand. As the flowers and the sugar pack down, we're going to top the jar up with more flowers and more sugar. And I'm going to leave it to stand over here, because that gets the afternoon sun from about 2 o'clock till about 8 o'clock at night. So that'll be a nice little bit of sunshine for it to pack down in. And we'll come back and pack that up. This is our jar that's been on the window ledge for about a week now. And you can see that the flowers have compacted down and the sugar is melting. It hasn't all melted, it hasn't melted at the bottom there, but that's fine, don't worry about that. So what I'm going to do is top this jar up now. We went for a rather windy walk this morning, and on our way I collected a few more mullein flowers. For about an hour they've been lying around. I've used this tray, that's quite a handy thing to use if you haven't got any clean boxes. So I've just used this tray because I haven't collected that many flowers this morning. And what I'm going to do is pack them into this jar. Topped up with sugar, lid on, back on the window ledge again now. And I probably won't get any more flowers in that jar, so I'm going to just leave that now for about 3 weeks. It's now exactly 3 weeks since we started the syrup. Pick the flowers and put them in sugar. That is a plain brown glass bottle with a label on it that says Mullein syrup, July 2011, and then I've put the date on it. That helps because then you'll know when you make the syrup and how long you've had it. Ordinary sieve, kitchen sieve, ordinary jug. All of this equipment is clean, so make sure everything is very clean. Hands are clean. Spoon from the drawer. This is the syrup here. We haven't had that much sun over the summer, so I suspect it isn't going to be as nice as normal, but you can see it's gone quite a pretty brown colour. And all I'm going to do is tip it into this jug here through the sieve. It'll probably be messy. The sugar at the bottom has not melted, that has crystallised. But this looks really gorgeous. There you go, you can see it dripping through the sieve there. You want every little bit, because you won't get much syrup out of a jam jar full of flowers and sugar. So you want every little bit of syrup that's going to come out. So I'm going to leave that now and go away and do something else and come back probably in about an hour and have a look at it. Here we are, all drained now. Got about 200 mils of syrup in there. The bottles you can usually get from any chemist. I think if you go in there and smile sweetly, they'll sell you one. The reason it's got to be a brown bottle is that brown keeps the light off anything that's in the bottle. But anyway, it's probably a good idea to store these things in the fridge once you've made them, so they'll be dark and they'll be cool. Right, let's do it so that you can see what I'm doing. Jug, bottle. All I'm doing is pouring it in. You can see what a, look, I'll hold it up a bit so you can see the gorgeous colour of it. Golden brown colour. I'm going to try and extract every drop from that because I don't want to waste it. There you go, I think that's about as good as we're going to get. This lid has got a polycone insert in it, but any lid that the chemist sells you is fine. It's just the polycone seals the bottle much better. So make sure you put that on nice and tight so it doesn't leak if it gets transported. Hold that up, you can see I've nearly filled the bottle there, so I've got about 200 mils of mixture. So that, just for private use for me and Mike, that'll last us through the winter if we ever need cough mixture. And I'm going to scrape the jug I've got a bit of syrup on the spoon there and I'm going to taste it. That is delicious. Can't even describe the flavour because it's so different to anything you would get in cough syrups or in food. But that is lovely, and I can tell that that will be a wonderful cough syrup.